Have you ever wondered how a small local hustle really blows up and becomes a powerful digital brand? Well, today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the exact formula for making that happen. We're going to deconstruct a masterclass in modern marketing, breaking down all the key steps, from nailing the perfect message to using the latest tech to build a brand that actually lasts. All right, let's get into it. So the entire blueprint we're looking at today kicks off with this one incredibly powerful statement: your hustle deserves a homepage. Now, this is so much more than just a clever tagline, right? It's a validation. In just 5 simple words, it speaks directly to every single entrepreneur, every creator, every side hustler out there. It tells them that their work, their passion, is valuable and it deserves a real professional home online. It's the absolute perfect hook to start a brand story today. Okay, so where does any great story begin? It always starts with a problem. And this framework is no different. It kicks off by establishing a shared reality, a common struggle that you can immediately relate to. It's all about grounding the story in a real world, making you nod and say, "Yep, I've been there," before it shows you the path forward. And here it is, the core conflict, laid out perfectly. On one side, you've got the offline grind. You're limited by business hours, your reach is pretty much just your local neighborhood, and let's be honest, after the sale, that connection can just fizzle out. But on the other side, you've got the digital brand. It's always on, 24/7. It has global potential, and it builds a lasting impression. This contrast immediately raises the stakes and makes you feel like, okay, I need to make a change now. So after painting that really clear picture of the problem, the story makes a natural pivot right towards the solution. It's a shift away from that struggle we just defined and onto a clear, simple path forward. And what this does is it frames the whole digital transition not as some scary, impossible challenge, but as a totally achievable and honestly an exciting transformation. So how do you take this big idea of going digital and make it feel, well, not just possible, but easy, simple? You break it down into these 3 powerful steps. First, you define your digital identity. Who are you going to be online? Second, you build your homepage, your digital home base. And third, you make sure people can actually find you. And just like that, an abstract concept becomes a concrete step-by-step plan. And here's the really crucial point. The goal here isn't just to make a couple of online sales. No way. It's about a fundamental transformation. It's about taking those temporary face-to-face transactions and turning them into a permanent digital asset, a brand that works for you around the clock, even when you're sleeping. So we have the problem, and we've got a clear 3-step solution. But what tools do you actually use to make it all happen? Well, this next part of the formula introduces the digital toolkit, and it shows that this transformation is more accessible today than it has ever been before. So here's the essential toolkit. Now, most of these are probably pretty familiar to you: a website, a strong logo, a social media presence. But I want you to notice that last one: AI-powered tools. This is where the strategy gets really modern and honestly pretty excited. So what is the big deal with AI in this context? Look, it's not about some complex, intimidating technology. You should think of it as a great equalizer. We're talking about tools that can help one single person generate a professional logo in minutes, or use an AI assistant to write amazing social media posts, or even optimize their website automatically. I mean, these are tasks that used to require a huge budget and a whole marketing team, and now they're accessible to literally everyone. AI is truly leveling the playing field. Okay, we've covered the problem, the solution, and the tools. But the final piece of this powerful puzzle is the message itself. We started with that amazing hook, and now we're going to break down maybe the most critical part of any brand story: the call to action that actually gets people to move. And that really is the million-dollar question, isn't it? I mean, you can have the best story in the world, the best tools, but if your audience just kind of nods along and doesn't take that next step, you haven't really succeeded. A great brand story has to inspire a genuine response. It has to make people do something. And here is the call to action from this blueprint. Don't wait for opportunity to find you. Create it online. The language here is absolutely key. It's active, it's empowering, and it puts the audience squarely in the driver's seat of their own success. It's brilliant. This is exactly why that line works so well. Let's break it down. First, it uses empowering language, that strong verb, create. Then it gives a really clear directive: do it online. And finally, it creates a real sense of urgency with that phrase, don't wait. which kind of implies that waiting is a losing strategy. It's a simple but incredibly potent formula for a message that truly motivates. So, the biggest takeaway here is that what we've just walked through, it's more than just a single marketing script. It's a universal, four-part formula you can apply to just about anything. You establish a relatable problem, you introduce a clear pivot to the solution, you present the accessible tools that make it all possible, and finally, you deliver a powerful message that inspires action. Problem, pivot, tools, message. That's the whole shebang. And that really brings us to the end of this breakdown. This formula is just such a powerful model for communication and for modern branding. So I'll leave you with a question to think about for yourself. Looking at your own work, your own passion, what story is your hustle waiting to tell on?